Trump, since we're on the subject of Trump, we might as well stay here, and then we're going to move over to UPS layoffs. Trump was actually pressed. Can you believe it? Pressed on tariffs and Pete Hegseth, and he made himself available for another interview, which I know that that's surprising to y'all. Listen, you're used to politicians only going on platforms that support them, only going on platforms that they agree with. You'll never, ever see a person from a Democratic platform head over to a Fox News or a conservative interview and have a conversation with somebody that, they may not necessarily care for. Even Biden. Biden never made himself available to the press like this. But Trump was recently sitting down with ABC for an interview inside of the White House, and he let them grill him. Listen, J.D. Vance and Trump has been doing layups around the media, and they have no problem with taking questions from people that think differently than them. But this was him getting pressed at an interview. I have not watched it yet, so we're going to observe it together, and we're going to see what he has to say about tariffs and Pete Hegseth.
We begin tonight with the ABC News exclusive. Today marks President Trump's 100th day in office. And tonight, our Terry Moran sitting down with the president in the Oval Office. Terry asking the president about his tariffs, the economy, immigration, the war in Ukraine, and how the president answered when Terry asked if the president still has confidence in his defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, after those two group chats using the Signal app discussing military plans involving Yemen, U.S. military jets, and their timing. One of those chats included his wife. The president facing an historically low approval rating at the 100-day mark amid concern in this country over the president's tariffs and higher prices, fears of inflation. Tonight, our first look at the primetime interview that airs tonight, Terry asking the president about his advice to Americans to hang tough and what that meant when it comes to the economy.
Well, you said something a couple weeks ago that struck me. You said concerning the tariffs, which economists say are going to raise prices, you said, quote, hang tough. Yeah. It won't be easy. You said that to the American people. Is that what Americans should expect, some hard times?
I've said that during my campaign. Look, we won a campaign by a lot. We won all 7 swing states. We won the popular vote by a lot. We had a tremendous campaign. I said all of these things during my campaign. I said, you're going to have a transition period. We've been ripped off by every country all over the world. They're laughing at us. They thought we were stupid people, and we were. And I said, that's not going to happen. We're not going to let that happen.
Hard times are ahead?
I don't think so. I think great times are ahead. Look, since I came in, gasoline is down, groceries are down, egg prices are down, many things are down, just about everything. You don't have the drop in fuel and energy and oil like we did. I took it from maybe $3.20, maybe more than that, down into a much lower number. When you have that kind of a drop, you're not going to have inflation.
Not now, but it's the tariffs, right? We still have 145% tariffs on China. Your Treasury Secretary said we basically have an embargo on China.
Look, you're trying to say something's going to happen.
Why, when people interview Trump, it's almost like a debate instead of it actually being an interview. You're supposed to answer the question or allow for him to answer the question fully, and then ask another question, or you can ask a follow-up question, or you can start to press them a little bit more. But the thing that I hate, the thing that I absolutely despise, and I don't even like it when it came to Kamala Harris, even though she didn't allow for anybody to really press her, her people was very adamant about that, is why don't people let them answer the question, but they always want to continue to try to cut Trump off? I still don't think that he gets the respect that he deserves. He's right. Prices are lower. Prices is down. The same thing that he came into. We know that they were saying it was a bird flu and they had to get rid of a whole bunch of chickens and all of this stuff. And people, oh, no, because watch egg prices. Egg prices is low. Gas prices is lower. Inflation is down significantly. And so why don't people acknowledge that? Why don't people acknowledge that their cost of living is down significantly? Gas is $2.74. Where you at? When the last time we had $2 gas? When is the last time that we had $2 gas? I don't even remember the last time we had $2 gas. How has your life been affected negatively in the first 101 days since Trump has been in office? What prices are high, Jerome? What prices are high? What prices are you paying that's high? Jerome, what prices are high? What are you paying higher prices on? Tell me what it is, because I haven't seen it. Some people will say that I'm so far removed, so I don't understand, I don't get it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Which prices are you talking about that's super high? $284 in Tampa? That's pretty good. Energy prices is high? When? Y'all just be talking. What energy prices is high, Jerome? Y'all literally just be talking. Y'all just be talking. The prices are not high. $2.49 in Jackson? Interesting. Eggs high, food prices high, says life-changing vibe. All right, well, let me look it up. Maybe you're right. And how many eggs are y'all eating every day? Kroger eggs is $2.89. If you want to get the big pack for the extra large eggs, you can get it for a little over $3. If you want to get 180 eggs, it's $60. $4.22. Grade A cage-free large eggs is $4 at Walmart. $3 for Eggland's Best. For extra large eggs, $3. Where y'all paying all of these crazy egg prices at? What kind of eggs y'all eating? Y'all must be eating pterodactyl eggs. Where are all of these super expensive eggs at that y'all talking about? And eggs is $3.99 over there in California, Danny. How many eggs are y'all eating every day? $305 in Charlotte. Your electric bill dropped at least $80 this month. Shout out to you, Terry.
No. Okay, well,
Nothing's going to happen.
You know business.
Terry,
I want to ask you.
I do know business.
Yes. So 145% tariffs on China, and that's good. Basically an embargo.
They deserve it.
It'll raise prices on everything from electronics to clothing to building houses.
You don't know that. You don't know whether or not China's going to eat it.
That's mathematics.
China probably will eat those tariffs, but at 145, they basically can't do much business with the United States. And they were making from us $1 trillion a year. They were ripping us off like nobody's ever ripped us off. And by the way, we have other countries that were just as bad. If you look at the European Union, it was terrible what they've done to us. Every country, almost every country in the world was ripping us off. They're not doing that anymore.
The president there on his tariffs during this wide-ranging primetime interview tonight. Terry also asking the president about his defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, and whether he still has confidence in him. Here's what the president said.
I want to ask one question about Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. There's a lot of turmoil at the Pentagon right now. There's the signal chat with his wife on it where he's discussing that attack in Yemen. There's another signal chat discussing the attack on Yemen. There's a reporter accidentally involved. You said the other day that you had a talk with the secretary. Did you take him to the woodshed?
What kind of question is that?
And whatever I said, I probably wouldn't be inclined to tell you. but we had a good talk. He's a talented guy. He's young, he's smart, highly educated. And I think he's going to be a very good hopefully a great defense secretary, but he'll be a very good defense secretary.
You have 100% confidence in
I don't
Pete
have
Hegseth.
100% confidence in anything. Okay, anything. Do I have 100%? It's a stupid question. Look,
It's a pretty important
I
position.
have no.
It's a stupid question.
You don't have 100%. Only a liar would say I have 100% confidence. I don't have 100% confidence that we're going to finish this interview.
We will.
Of course, the interview.
I don't have 100% confidence that we're going to finish this interview.
We will.
Of course.
I don't even know why Trump makes himself available to these reporters that are on the opposite side. I don't. To be that arrogant and to sit in front of somebody and tell them, yeah, we will. That's crazy. Trump has the patience of Job, honestly. Like, to be granted an interview and to be that repulsive in the interview is just disrespectful, if you ask me.
Of course, the interview did continue. You did finish it. The president was, and we should point this out, willing to answer a multitude of questions here. Let's bring in Terry Moran. He's live at the White House tonight. Terry, of course, I read through the entire transcript. You asked about the economy, immigration, the war in Ukraine. You asked about Elon Musk and Doge, the federal cuts. This is a wide-ranging conversation tonight.
It sure was, David. We covered a lot of ground. As you say, the president was really eager to talk about immigration, his efforts on the border. That's something that he considers a big success. We also talked about Vladimir Putin and whether or not President Trump still trusts him. And we got a rare look inside the Oval Office that he has really transformed. It was fascinating.
We look forward to it. Terry Moran live at the.
So Trump is again making himself available to everybody in order to answer these questions. I don't think that we've ever seen any president be this visible and be this accountable and be willing to let reporters ask him any questions, regardless of what side of the aisle that they're on. He has no problem with clapping back at a lot of these reporters, and I think that he's doing a phenomenal job. As I outlined in the live stream that we did yesterday about his first 100 days in office, I think that Trump is doing an incredible job.